Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is HP Fashions GY. In today's tutorials we'll be learning on how to cut and sew a down ruffle cowl neck dress. Alright, so if this is your first time of tuning into my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe, like and comment. Don't forget to share my videos. So alright, the first thing to do now is to get my pattern and get the measurement on the dress. Alright, I already gotten my full length of the dress. I got my bust point, half length, hip point, and the full length of the dress. I also got my shoulders. Okay, this is my shoulder length. Right, so I'll go ahead now and take my measurement. It's actually a cut together dress, so I'll go ahead and divide my bust measurement by 4. I'll go ahead and get my bust measurement by 4. Then insert it right there with extra 1.5 sewing allowance. Okay, so now I'll come down to my half length measurement and add my waist measurement. Divide my waist measurement by 4. 39.5 divided by 4. Then anything I get there, I will just insert it right there with the same 1.5 inches sewing seam allowance. All right, so now my hip point I use 24 and 25, all right, from the shoulder. So I'll be dividing my hip measurement by 4. 45 divided by 4. 45 divided by 4. Then whatsoever I get there, I'm going to insert it right there with extra 1.5 sewing allowance and make my connection right away. Connect my bust to my half length. Okay, so at this point now, her shoulder measurement is 16.5, which is this, but with the sleeve length of 10.5 inches. All right, so I'll be using a wideness for the sleeve. I use the wideness for the sleeve of 8.5. All right, then I'll make my connection all the way down. So I will have to blend it very well to suit to my measurements. All right, I got the sleeve and the dress, everything cut together. All right, so the hip measurement, now I'm taking the measurement together to get my down part. All right, so what I got here is 13 inches. All right, so getting my down part, I'll have to reduce it to 11.5. All right, so after that I'll use my ruler to connect them all together. Okay, so this pattern will actually serve for the front and the back. So afterwards, if I'm sure of everything, I'll go ahead and cut this out. All right, I'll go ahead and cut this out. Follow the traced line. Okay, so ensure to follow the traced line so it won't give us a different shape on the dress. All right, so this is how I got my measurement out. So I will just go ahead and take it all the way. All right, so this is the shoulder and the sleeve together. So I've gotten my pattern for the dress. All right, so from the bust length, I'll just go down by 1.5 inches, mark, then connect it to my bust length. All right, so this is the shape we'll be having. Afterwards, I'll go ahead and slash it. All right, so I'm not cutting it all out completely. I'll just leave a little bit of it. All right, so now I've placed it on my main fabric. I folded my fabric into 2, so I placed my pattern on top of my fabric. Then afterwards, I'll go ahead and spread the bust line, the place I slant then slash. I'll go ahead and spread it like this. If you want the cowl to be much, you go ahead and spread it more even. All right, so at this point now I'm just taking the shape of it on my fabric. I'm just taking the shape of the pattern on my fabric before I'll go ahead and cut it all out. Okay, so All right, so if I'm very certain and I'm sure, I'll go ahead and cut it out. The reason why I'm tracing it is in case the pattern gets to shift, I will still have to identify my main measurement on my fabric. Okay, so right now I'm just cutting it all out. This is actually for the front part. All right, this is actually for my front part of the dress. This is actually for the front part of the dress. So ensure you I cut this very accurate and very okay. So this is it. Like I said, if you want your cut to be very full, all right, you should be able to spread more. You should be able to spread it more. All right, so this is it for the front part. All right, so we'll have to keep this aside and fold for the back side of our fabric. All right, so folded the fabric into two and I've placed my pattern on it. At this point now, I did not spread the slashed part. I had to put them together. All right, if you have a sellotape or anything, you can use it to hold them together. Like I don't have a sellotape close to me right now. That's why I just use my hand to pin it together to ensure that it's actually together. All right, because we don't need any spread. We don't need to spread it for any reason. This is actually the back part of the dress. All right, so once this is done now, we'll go ahead and keep our pattern aside and work directly on our main fabric. This is the back part. All right, so this is our organza. I got 5 yards of organza. All right, so we'll go ahead and divide the organza by 12 inches all the way down. So all right, so we'll go ahead and make ruffles, make gathers on the organza by sewing at the middle part. All right, sewing at the middle part of it. Just indicate the middle and sew on it all the way down, all the 5 yards. All right, so like I said, we divided it by 12 inches. All right, so we got much. So you just go ahead and make sew the middle side to make gathers for all the pieces you've gotten. All right, so at this point now, this is what we've gotten, and I'm actually running a thread at the middle parts. So after that is done, I'll go ahead and pull one of the rope. All right, one of the thread, I'll go ahead and pull it, and it will gather. Then when you pull it, it will gather. Then you arrange the remaining part of the gathers. All right, so this is how I did for all of them. So you can actually pull it on any side you want, whether the up side or the down side. It all depends on the thread that is actually movable. All right, and mind you, when sewing this, you don't have to stitch your thread, your stitches. You don't have to stitch it tight before you sew these gathers. If not, it won't really allow you to drag the rope after the end of sewing. Okay, so just sew it all the way down. Okay, all right, so this is how we make the gathers. You can even see how beautiful it looks. All right, it's actually looking very beautiful already. So this is it. This is for one of the dress. So go ahead and make for the rest of it and attach it right to our dress. All right, so this is how we achieved our gathers on our dress. Okay, so alright, so if you find this video very helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to comment and share my videos, okay? Alright, please, if this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe. Alright, and also turn up your notification button so that whenever we get to drop new videos, you also get notifications to follow up. Okay, all right, this is HP Fashions GY. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and I'm trying to drag this from the end, from the other side, to see if it's actually movable. All right, but it's actually movable, so I'll have to drag the rest of the gathers from the other side to meet up with this one, the full ones. All right, so right now we'll go ahead and take the neck wideness of 4 inches at the back, then depth of 1.5 inches at the back. All right, so just go ahead and make a connection. It's actually our dress. Then afterwards, you go ahead and cut it all out. Go ahead and cut it out. All right, so if this is done, we'll get the facing for the dress. All right, we get the facing for the dress. So how to get the facing? You just place the traced neck on another fabric folded into 2. Then you take the neckline measurement exactly the way the neckline is, then a little bit of a shoulder, like about 2 inches or 2.5. You can make it 3 inches if you so wish. Then the down part about 3 inches. All right, then curve it till you get to the shoulder parts. All right, so this is how to get the shape facing. All right, so I'll use the facing to actually sew this neck because I wouldn't want my stitches to show. So I'll use the facing to turn the neck of the dress. So after turning this dress, I'll go ahead and notch the neckline because I really want it to relax well. So after ironing, it will really sit perfectly on the dress. All right, so this is for the back neck only. All right, so after notching, I'll go ahead and top stitch on my facing, not on my main fabric. Okay, I'll go ahead and top stitch on the facing. Okay, then take off any excess fabric out on both sides, excess thread, sorry, out on both sides. So after that is done, I'll have to get my front fabric and attach to this. I can go ahead and iron the neckline to ensure everything is perfect and okay. All right, so our front dress don't need any neckline. Okay, doesn't need any neckline. So at this point now, I've pinned the sleeves together, the sleeve of the front and the sleeve of the back together. Okay, so I'll go ahead and use my pin to secure this. I really have a reason why I started pinning from the sleeve, because I want it to really align. Remember the front doesn't the front doesn't have a neckline to actually connect shoulder to. All right, so at this point now, this is the neck side of the front, so I will just use my neck side to wrap the back a little, then use my pin to hold. All right, this is it. Then I'll have to repeat the same thing on the other side. Right, I'll use the front to wrap the back a little for about 1 inch or so. But if you actually spread more to get more cowl, you can actually fold it about 1 inch or 1.5. Right, so right now I've gone ahead to join the sleeve from the sleeve side for the front and the back down to the neckline of the back and the shoulder. All right, so remember our front doesn't have a neckline, it doesn't have a cutting of a neckline. All right, so we are actually making do of the back, and that's why we did a connection from the sleeve side to actually give us a guide. All right, So at this point now, I'm using 1/2 inch to do this shaping, all right, because I feel 1/2 inch is perfect for this. Okay, so this is it. All right, so when sewing, ensure to always arrange your fabric while you sew. Okay, so at this point now, I'm going to sew this slowly because I have a pin right there. Okay, so I'm going to take the pin off, then top stitch on it. All right, so after this is done, I'm going to take this thread out, then fold the sleeve. I'm going to fold the sleeve before actually shaping the dress. All right, so I'm actually shaping my sleeve. I'm folding my sleeve, sorry. All right, so this is it. All right, so I'll go ahead and fold the other side of the sleeve, just like the way I did to the first sleeve. All right, so after folding this sleeve now, I made a measurement from the down part of my dress. I provided about 9 inches where I will attach my ruffles. 9 inches from the downside to the upper part. 9 inches. You can actually take more than that. All right, so I've started inserting my ruffles to my dress. This is actually, I started from the 9 inches point. I've actually attached one to the dress, so this is the second one I'm attaching right now. All right, so you just have to spread open and ensure you sew exactly at the middle. All right, at the middle where you dragged your first ruffles. All right, you just have to top stitch it on top of it again. All right, so this is how you do to all the ruffles you'll be attaching to the dress. All right, so while you sew, enable to arrange your ruffles to give you exactly what you want. All right, so I did not actually show how I got the measurements where I attached the ruffles. As I said, I provided 9 inches from the down part of our dress to the upper part. 9 inches. Okay, so you can actually use 10. Right, the reason why I use 9 inches, okay, we don't want the gown to be a short gown. We actually want it long because it's actually for a married woman, and she said she wouldn't want it short as the sample she got. All right, so you just have to spread open and sew to the other side. Like I said, I shaped only one side of the dress, leaving the other side open for the joining of all the ruffles we'll be doing.